As psychiatric providers, there are old psychology studies we were taught in school, but nobody told us they still apply to our practice today. This series is about those studies and what they quietly teach us about humility, bias, power, connection, and clinical judgment in modern psychiatry. In 1971, Philip Zimbardo created a mock prison in the basement of Stanford. College students volunteered, they were screened, they were healthy and normal young men. Some were randomly assigned to be guards, while others were assigned as prisoners. They received no training, they had no history of violence and no history of mental illness. But within days, the guards became controlling, humiliating, and psychologically harsh, while the prisoners became more anxious, withdrawn, and distressed. The study had to be even stopped early. And what shook psychology wasn't that people were cruel, it was that ordinary people became cruel because of the environment and the role they were placed in. Now, here's why this never leaves my mind as a psychiatric provider. Because we all also work in an environment where there is power, control, labels, and hierarchy. In places like inpatient units, correctional facilities, crisis units, even busy outpatient clinics. Places where patients are in gowns, on precautions, in seclusions, in restraints, on watch, on lists, on charts. And if we are not careful, we can slowly begin to relate to people through the role they are in instead of the human being that they are. We start labeling patients as room 12, suicide watch, borderline, schizophrenic, frequent flyer, the non-compliant, and we don't even notice that it is happening. This study reminds me that sometimes, before I open my mouth to speak to a patient, the environment has already spoken to them. The way staff speaks, the way policies are enforced, the way power is felt in the room, because environment shapes our behavior for both patients and for providers. It warns me that I am not immune to becoming less patient, less empathetic, more task oriented, and more detached, simply because of the system that I am working inside. So I ask myself often, am I